Now, I don't want to hook you into watching this video. I just want to teach people who are interested in knowing how you can build a brand that actually makes money. If you're not interested in that, please click off the video, I don't care. But if you are, let's go and see how you can build a brand that actually makes money. It is not just numbers, it's not just subscribers, views or whatever. Now, first of all, I'm Alessandro, I won 2 school games and I help educational creators to scale past 50k per month with even a small audience. Now, first step, we're gonna start with build the brand. We're gonna start from the fundamentals, and no matter what stage you're at, you can always do them, even if you have already hundreds of thousands of followers, but your brand doesn't sell, or even if you're selling, if you have hundreds of thousands of followers and you're making anything less than 50 to 100k per month, your brand is wrong, you did something wrong. So start from zero, which doesn't mean create a new account, it means just do the content, from now on do content that follows these rules. As I said, let's start from the fundamentals, which is a specific target for your content. If you just do random content, open to get anyone, when you eventually get to the point where you have to sell, you will have to adapt to your audience, but your audience is not going to be a specific target. It may be 10, 20 groups of different people who have different problems. And in that way, it's hard to sell a product because you're just going to cover 1/10 of your audience. So even if you have 100k followers, it's going to be 10k actually. So it's just a number, and you will sell way more than a guy who has 20k followers, but it is, to 15k of a specific group that actually has a problem. Now, how do you do that? It's very simple. Take your expertise, the thing you can either teach or you can do entertainment-based content around, meaning that even if you want to do just entertainment, the cool videos, cool edits, you need to have a target. You need to have a specific type of people that you want to attract with your edits. Because as I said, then when you need to sell the product, you can do a product specific for them. I can give you an example of an entertainment-based content that sells for a specific type of people, is doing cinematic shots, sort of like cinematography videos, and then you, at the end of the video, for example, or in every other video, you show the background, you show how you did all of those shots, so you will get people who are interested in doing the same thing, in doing those shots. And when you want to sell a product, a huge part of your audience is gonna be people who are interested in knowing how to do that stuff on their own. So you can teach a course, it can be a physical product or whatever, on how to do cinematic shots like you. Very simple example. Now, whatever is fitness or whatever, just choose a targeting, which is something you're an expert about, as I said, even if you're doing entertainment-based content. After that, you want to learn more about them. Because even if you're an expert about, let's stick to cinematography, even if you're an expert about that, what you want is not the same as what people want to learn that want. So even, as I said, even if you're an expert about your topic, you don't know what the people who are at the start want, because you might not remember what the start was like. It might have been 4 or 5 years ago for you, so you don't remember the feeling. So what you want to do is, when you make content, and maybe someone comments or you get a new follower, you want to message them and tell them to give you feedback in sort of, you can send them a form, and have a couple of questions. You can try to get them on a call and ask them questions. You don't necessarily want to sell something at this stage. You can if you want, but I wouldn't suggest it, because then the few people who are becoming your followers, they might think you are you're just using them to make money and stuff like that, which is obviously the case. Everyone is doing that, but people don't like to think that they're just being used or being sold to. So I wouldn't suggest doing that, unless if you really need money in this moment. That being said, you want to ask questions in a call or whatever, you want to get more information. Save those informations, especially the informations about their problems, what they're suffering from, what they are, let's say they're stuck with a specific amount of bench, or or they're stuck at a certain point when it comes to making videos. They can get over a certain amount of quality, stuff like that. And you want to make videos about those problems, and you see if they get more or less views, and you see if it's a general problem. After you ask this to 100, 200 people or more, and by the way, let me mention, this is not a process you do at the start. This is a process you do from now to when you have 2 million followers, and probably some more, because you can never learn enough about your audience. Now, after you talk to enough people, you're gonna see that some problems are common. You know, but obviously that's the problems who are specific to a certain amount of people, but you can see that out of 200 people, 100 people are struggling with, you know, doing doing something. You know, it can be doing a specific type of shot, can it be increasing their bench, can it be growing their calves, whatever is the problem. Then what you do is that you know what to do content about the most, because that's the priority, that's the thing they're struggling with. Now, the second point, it's grow your brand, because now you have the fundamentals you need to grow. At this point, it's gonna be very fast, because it's very, very simple. What you want to do is just do more of what you are doing, do it better, and that's it. You don't want to do anything different. You can use 2 or 3 platforms. Let's say you're doing short form. You can use 2 or 3 platforms, repurpose the content, and focus on doing more of that, improving your hooks. As Alex almost says, more, better, new. But you want to skip the new. For the next probably 2 or 3 years, you won't have to do new. So take 2 or 3 platforms, repurpose, do the content for one platform, and then you repurpose the content. But the real focus is in increasing the amount of content you do every single week. Once you get to the point where you can't really go do more content because you're doing 1 or 2 videos a day, as I said, I'm sticking to short form, but it can be for long form, doing 3 videos a week or 4 videos a week, you focus on quality. How can I increase my hooks? How can I improve my hooks? How can I improve the quality of my video, my microphone, or whatever? You want to focus only on that. Don't try to do new stuff. Don't try new styles of content. Don't try new trends unless they are really, really close to what is the focus of your profile. Don't try new stuff. You don't need that shit. You just need a style that fits you, and you improve that as much as possible, because you can realistically keep doing content for the next 40 years and you will always have stuff to improve. There's never a point where you have to stop. This is why I'm saying for the next 2 or 3 years, don't focus on new. Choose what you want to start, and once you get really, really, really fucking good, then you can do new. But focus on making especially the hooks better. The hooks have to be incredible, especially in long form. The first 5 seconds have to be so catching that even if you're doing an ad and on top of it there is a text saying I'm gonna sell you something, people still want to watch it. You want to get to that point. And then, more new, and you repeat it till the rest of your lives. Now, third step, and my favorite one, is productize. Build your product. So the first step to do this is you want to build out your idea. First of all, what do you want to help people with? Just choose an expertise, or in general, what do you want to help people with? Obviously, as related as possible to your profile. You just build a profile around one specific topic. You can just be doing something else. So build a product around that, and then the form of it. So let's say it can be fitness, it can be a physical product, it can be some sort of new machine, it can be a coaching, it can be a supplement, whatever. You just choose your form, physical or digital product, in whatever form you like. After you have the idea, you don't start to sell it, you don't start to produce it. What you do before this, and this is the most important part in the whole video probably, is you go ask your audience what they want, what they need, what they would like to have help with. And you do similar to the first step, but this time you ask more specific about your product, about what they will need help with, more professional. It can be like, what are you struggling with? What is something that will help you with this? Just deeper question. It can be, you start by asking things like what they would like to have. So, what is the thing that will help you the most in your gym journey right now, for example, or your cinematography journey right now? Fitness, whatever it is, entrepreneurship, whatever it is. What is the thing that will help you the most with your journey? Then you slowly go down, and you can ask about what they would like to have, in what form, everything. But the most important part that you want to ask is what they're struggling with. What is the thing that keeps you awake at night? What is the thing that you don't want to go to sleep till you fix this problem every single day, and you eventually go to sleep and you wake up the next morning and you have it again? What is that thing? You want to discover that, and then you want to sort of match the thin line between your idea, because you don't want to build just their idea 100%, because then you might end up not liking your product, not wanting to build it, and that will reach your business. You want to have a match between the two. You want to find the thin line between what they want, in what you have. For example, you want to have a course, and they want to, their problem is they wake up every day with knee pain or with like joint pain in general. You then do a course about joint pain because the course is what you wanted to do, and the joint pain is the thing they're struggling with. You want to do a physical product where you do something for joint pain or whatever it is. Just find the thin line between the two, because you don't want to hate your product because you're doing something they only want, and you don't want them to not want your product because you're doing something that you only want. You just want to find the thin line. The next step of building your product is build a base for it. You don't want to completely do your product from start to zero, waste months and months and months building a product, because you don't have feedback. If you just build it in your head and you're just doing what you think will work, you don't have feedback for it. So you want to do a first version, a basic version. If it's a course, you want to have maybe 10 videos. If it's a physical product, you want to have like the V1 version or whatever. Just a basic. And you want to either give it for free at the start. Actually, let's give it for free at the start. It makes it way simpler, and I think it's way better. You give it for free at the start, and you, for let's say 10-20 people, even though you might lose money because it's a physical product, it's worth it. And the only cost for them is that they need to give you detailed feedback, not just feedback, really detailed feedback about what to improve, how to improve it. After you have 20 people trying it, you have feedback and you can improve it. And you have the V2 version, which is way more complete. Now you can start to sell it. And this brings us to the last step. Sell your brand. What you want to avoid is having anything that is different from the thing you're selling from your profile. I mean, any links from affiliate, discounts, referrals, whatever you have. Especially in the fitness space, I see a lot of people who have referrals to like 4 or 5 clothing brands or supplements and everything, and then they have their coaching at the bottom. It's like, the coaching is your main product. The coaching is the thing that should make you the most money. It shouldn't be at the bottom. That's the main thing you are selling. You can't put other people's brand at the top. If you want to do this, you need to put your main product at the top. Clearly, is like it's your only product, and then at the bottom you put a couple of referrals. In my opinion, you shouldn't have anything outside your product, because your product has the potential, no matter the amount of views you have, or likes you have, or followers you have, to make you 100, 200k per month. Being an affiliate, it's almost impossible to get past 10k per month, unless you have a huge audience and you're one of the best affiliates in the world. So eliminate everything, even though it's passive income. If you run, like, this is a choice. Would you rather have a little bit of passive income, like, to be honest, most people make less than 200 per month from affiliate, or would you rather have more active income, which is obviously costing you time, but you're making 40, 50k per month minimum if you have a big brand? I would choose that. And if you choose that as well, the solution is eliminate everything that is not your product. Once you do that, you want to obviously change everything in your profile, from your bio or your description on YouTube, anything like that. You want to change it from the thing you had before to something that links up to your product, a sales page. You can build a funnel or whatever. And now, this is important. You don't want to sell your product 24/7. You don't want to keep it open all of the time, unless you have a very big brand and you're selling a product. To be honest, it doesn't matter how big you are actually. You don't want to sell it 24/7. If you look at the best brands, the biggest one, the one making the most money, why are they so researched? Why do people want to buy them so much? It's because they're not available all of the time. You can just go and and buy one when you want. And there is different level to being exclusive. It can be like iPhone, for example, because a phone is expensive, so you might want to save up to buy it, and that's when you want to buy it. Or it may be because it's not available all of the time, which it might be like a Rolex, which you have to, you can buy one and then you have to wait a lot of time to get it. That's also expensive. That's a mix of both. Now that you have your idea and the way you want to sell it, how to make it exclusive and whatever, you want to start to tease a launch. So let's say I would suggest you to wait 1 month before launching your product. So at the start of the month, the first, let's say, you start to mention that you're starting to build the product. You put, just text. You just tell them what you're thinking of doing. Even if the product is already built, you want to tell them that you're starting on this project. You want to sort of make them go with the make them feel like they're building the project with you. So you say that you're having this idea, you're building this project, it's gonna be great, all of the stuff, and you start to tease the launch. After 1 week of doing this, you start to put some photos, you start to put some a sort of trailer of how the product is gonna be. And you can mention, you can put like a photo of one of the videos, or you can put a photo of the first prototype, all of the stuff. After that week, this is the last week, is the most important. The first two you don't do much. The third week, which is the one when you're gonna build a list, here you want to have an excuse to be exclusive, to have to build a list. It can be, I'm not gonna be able to build that many, so I'm gonna be able only to build or to produce 20 of these, 100 of these. So the first one, you need to join the list to be the first one to get it, or I'm gonna open only 100 spots, so join the list to be the first one to know, all of that stuff. You want a reason to build the list. Then you're gonna spend this whole week building the list, and in the meantime you're gonna send them emails, giving them more details about the product, more information, more photos, all of the stuff. You never want to tell them everything. You just want to keep it at best 40% of what the product actually is. Maybe 50% if it's something that is like, it's hard to keep it private, or you already revealed enough. The last week is where you really go all in. Every single day of this week, and this is gonna be, by the way, this is gonna seem like you're pushing your audience too much, you're doing too much, and that is true, but this is something you do only one time, ever. So yes, it's gonna be a lot. Yes, it's gonna be like, it might be sort of heavy for your audience to go from a switch where you're not selling anything to selling this much, but you're not gonna do this ever again. So people are probably gonna forget in 4 or 5 months, and you're gonna make a lot of money from it. So it's worth it. As I said, the fourth week is where you push the most, because every single day you want to remind them of the day of the launch. It's gonna be this day. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be incredible. More sneak peeks, more everything. Imagine you're building the hype for a movie. Imagine being that for a movie. The days before the movie is released, you see the movie all over Instagram, all over YouTube, or whatever, or on the billboards, or whatever it is. You want to do the same. You want to have it all over your profiles, all of that stuff, and especially on the people who are on your list. You want to send them emails every day and follow up emails to people who didn't read the first email. Let's say you're doing this the last day of the month. The launch is due to the last day of the month. The day before, you're gonna stop. And in the last 6 hours, you want to send them a message, an email, or whatever, every 2 hours. And in the last hour, you want to do it every 20 minutes, or 5 minutes before, and 5 minutes before the launch, sorry. I know it's a lot, but it's the only time you're ever gonna do it. Now, if your brand is a brand that maybe is built more around, being a family, and maybe you don't want people to be pitched this much, or you think people are gonna leave you or gonna hate you, and you really can do it, you can cut everything and say it by half. Simply. You, instead of doing it every other day, you do it every 4 days or every 3 days. You just cut it down a little bit. Instead of messaging every hour, every 2 hours at the last 6 hours, you do it every 3. And you do only 2 messages. Whatever. Just fix it to what you want, but accept that you're probably gonna make less money. Now, after this launch, as I said, you don't do anything like this anymore. You want to take 2 months where you are improving the product, getting feedback, really building a fucking great product, getting testimonials. Every week you publish testimonials, you show them the people inside are getting the results. And while all of this is happening, the community is closed. So it builds, it builds like people in the waiting line. It builds hype. And while you operate again, first of all, you're gonna sell a lot of people, and you won't need to do a launch like this. But then you're gonna keep it open 24/7. You're gonna have a great product because you have all of these feedbacks. So you hopefully put a lot of work on it. So you're gonna have referrals, all of that stuff, and you're gonna have a lot of people inside of it because you build all of this hype. The next step after this is repeating from step 2 to step 4 of this video for the rest of your life, or at least till you want to make money. So step 2, you keep making more videos and you keep making them better. Simple. You can never be too good, so you keep repeating, you keep building your audience, because obviously the more you build your audience, the more money you're gonna make because you have more people to sell to. Step 3, you improve your product, because obviously the better product you have, the better it is, the more people are gonna are gonna get results, you're gonna have more proof, and more people are gonna buy it, you're gonna have more referrals because people are liking it, you're gonna make more money for free because, you know, you don't pay for a referral, like you pay a percentage, but you don't pay for the advertising and everything. Then you repeat the selling process. You can do, you know, a launch every few months if you want, or you can simply keep selling 24/7. Sorry, keep it open 24/7, and you do every week, for example, you post, you know, all of the testimonials of the week, all of the results of the week, and you put a CTA at the end of it. You know, if you want the same results, join now. Very simple. You know, no one is gonna be upset by this. And you keep repeating, 2 to 4 till you're a millionaire. It's like you can easily make 10, 20 million a year by repeating this process. There are people who do that. It's that simple. It's not easy because doing these steps is weirder than it looks, but it's simple. Now, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching it. If you think I suck, if you don't like my video, please leave a comment explaining why, give me feedback. I'm gonna apply them. I'm gonna be more than happy to do that. In the description, you're gonna find some resources that you can use in your journey. Some of it are referrals, some of it are not. I'm gonna leave which is which in the description. That being said, thank you for watching the video. Go watch the next one. Bye.